person didn't just change her life, but she also changed many lives. She changed so many lives, guys, that she is now a regional director with our company. She overcome all the odds and she has made a successful story out of TLC, guys. And tonight I am dying to hear what she's gonna say. Because if you're like me, then you love to hear success stories. You love to hear testimony. But to make this one extra special, guys, I've been using her result photos for a while and I did not know her story. I still don't know her story. I am just as excited as you are, and I'm in suspense just like you, to hear what she's gonna say tonight. But guys, just help me welcome no other than our regional director, Jem Tardieu herself. Jem, are you there?
Good night, everyone. Good night. It is my pleasure to be here. Thank you, Emil, for having me on.
You're welcome.
All right. So, as she stated, my name is Jem Tardieu. I'm out of the beautiful Caribbean islands of Trinidad and Tobago. And, we all have a story. And I think when you get into TLC and you really begin to self search, you really find your story more now than ever. And I was so excited. And the funny thing with Emil and I is that he had sent me a request months ago. And I never saw this request because for some reason Messenger has this little holding bay. And only I think was the last week or week before I saw this message, and was asking me to be on one of his shows. And of course I said yes. And I want to say, I said that to say this: God's time is perfect. It was meant to be that at this time, at this present situation, I was going to be on to share with somebody who needs to probably hear my story, who needs to hear where I came from, who needs to hear whatever background that may have happened and how my life has been able to change. And I'm hoping tonight that I'm able to share and maybe, bless someone with my story. Because when I started with TLC, that was just 5 years ago. But before TLC, I struggled. I struggled with weight. That was my thing. I grew up as that chubby kid. They would always say the chubby kid with the cute cheeks. If only she would lose some weight, she would be so nice. That was that kind of thing. And especially in the Caribbean, we always look at children who are a little chubbier and, always say, well, they're eating too much or you're not putting them in any exercise. And my mom had me in extracurricular activities. I was doing swimming, I was doing dancing, I was going to a dietitian, and it wasn't necessarily because of maybe I think it was something that was hormonal because I had gotten tonsillitis and I had gotten an antibiotic. And from there, my body, I started to put on weight. And that's why we have to be so careful of our health. That's why it's so important where we are at this time and this junction. But I didn't know that then. My mom didn't know that then. And, I struggled all my life. I had always been that fat kid that, wished that she was the slim kid. I grew with a self-esteem issue. My dad died when I was 8. And I think I bottled all those feelings in and I began to I probably ate, to cover up the mask of how I felt. I never really expressed, my feelings about my dad's death. I'm an only child, so it's not as if I have any siblings that I can share how I feel. I was never the kind of person that had a lot of friends. I didn't have the look. I didn't have the look that people wanted to be, I guess, my friend. Personality wise, yes, but in terms of, that popular kid, I was never that. And I just struggled for years, until I had probably gotten into my teens, I want to say. And that issue for self-esteem, and we have to be so important, and we have to be so mindful of how we empower our young women and boys as well, our young girls and boys as well, but especially our young girls, because they are being so bombarded with the social media and all those things. And I remember looking at television, and I remember I saw this person, and I think she was anorexic at this time. And what she would do, she was actually a popular sitcom star. And what she would do is that she would just eat, and then she would go and throw up all her food and everything like that. And I remember saying, wow, if I could lose some weight, and she's slim and I'm big. If I could lose some weight, what is wrong with her? And it got into my idea. That's why it's so careful. Be careful. When we say protect your mind, your body, and your soul, that is important. Protect your kids. Keep giving them affirmations that they are worthy enough, that they don't need to change who they are. Because I remember being in a place, and it was a dark place, because I didn't have anyone. I didn't know anyone to talk to. There was no, as I said, my mom was a single mom. So she did the best that she could. I didn't lack for anything, but I just didn't love me. And I know so many of us women, and we sit here and we just don't love who we are. We know that we could give so much more. We know that, the best is yet to come, but we just are not ready to accept who we are for who we are right now. And at that point in time, I didn't like what I saw. I was so unhappy, and I became bulimic. I became bulimic, and I would do all sorts of things, and I would go on a tantrum of not eating, of binge eating. I mean, I did it all. I remember when I was at university, and that's the level where, everyone begins to look at you because you're no longer hidden in the uniform. Because in the Caribbean, we use uniforms. So you're no longer hidden in that uniform that everybody is one. You are now in your own way. I was uncomfortable. I couldn't find the right top. I couldn't find the right pants or skirts to wear. I just couldn't fit in. And I was so unhappy. I was depressed. And sometimes we are depressed and we don't even know we're depressed. We are smiling and we are talking to people. But in our lonely moments, we are so depressed. We are so self-loathing that we don't even know what to do. And that's where I was. I had that one friend that we would eat stuff together. We would hide to eat because both of us was overweight at that time, and we would not, come in the public and eat because we were so afraid of public scrutiny, of what people would say, and that is so much for a young person to go through, just not even loving yourself enough. I remember that I didn't even used to look at mirrors. I would not look at my reflection. When you pass in front of a car, some people would look at how, they look. I would pass, I would not look in the mirror. And if I go to a store, if I get one skirt, I'm going to buy 5 different colors. I didn't care that people told me I was wearing the same skirt because I just wanted to be able to find something that could fit. That's how bad it was. I would have one top and I would have 5 different colors in that one top because I was so self-loathing and I just didn't want nobody. I didn't want people to look at me. I didn't want people to look at me. And, I really, really was in a state of depression. And then, after teenhood, I got married and thank God, I met my husband. I met him when I was pretty young through the phone, again, um, people in the 80s, if you were a 1980 baby, you would know we would do prank calls where we would call these numbers. So, I would call and my friend and I would call and they would like my voice. So at most times the boys would like my voice, but they don't know what I look like, but they like my voice. And I remember meeting my husband and he didn't know what I looked like. He didn't know what I looked like, but we really, really connected. And I remember I was so ashamed that there was a time he wanted to see what I looked like. And I remember going to my neighbor's house. That's how bad it was. I remember going to my neighbor's house and I took pictures from my neighbor who was around my age at that time, and I sent it to him. And that's how ashamed I was of how I looked, and I'm so grateful that, a few years later, my husband actually, we met up and he saw me, and, he it didn't matter to him what I looked like. And, it's so grateful. And I have to say, I have to talk about it because I'm grateful for finding someone who loved me for me before I even loved myself. And that is something that is so powerful. That is so powerful because I didn't love myself as yet, but he loved me for who he saw in me. And that was something that I couldn't wrap my mind around, But now today I could look back and I could reflect and I said, God, this is you. This was you all the time affirming the true beauty in me that I couldn't see because I hated me. I didn't like what I saw. I hated me. And I hated me so much that I remember I would go to when I just before I had my first child, I remember going to this clinic and I was taking injections and I was taking these ATG injections and I would be taking these injections and just desperate to lose weight. People don't understand how desperate you become when you're not happy, when you're depressed. So many people say, well, why did he do that? Why did she do that? It's a point of a place of desperation. That's why it's so important. Reach out to the people that are around you. In this pandemic time, I would say reach out to the people who are around you because you don't know what they are going through. And I remember being in that deep, dark spot and I was already overweight. And when I had my second child, that is my son, I had gone up to 300 pounds. I was in belief. I was at 200 plus after I had my daughter, and then she had hit 4. I got pregnant again with my son, and I had gained 100 pounds in that pregnancy. And I was blown away. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what did I do? What did I do to deserve this punishment? I hated other pregnant women who would just make babies and then they would lose weight. And it just, it just evoked anger in me because I didn't overeat in my pregnancy. I didn't do anything out of the way. And I just kept gaining and gaining and gaining till I gained 100 pounds. I was maxing the scale at 300 pounds. So already being depressed, already hating myself in terms of how I looked and didn't feel good, I was desperate. I started to go to clinics. I started taking injections. I took weight loss pills. I took, you name it, I took it. I took everything that I could possibly take. And, there was really nothing that helped really. Of course, you'd lose a few pounds, but then you'd gain back some, you lose some. So it was a seesaw for about 5 years. I've been struggling. And then the last place before I met TLC, the last place I went to, I remember it was a clinic and that lady was giving people injections. So I was going for injections and I remember she got locked up because she had given somebody a wrong prescription in another Caribbean island. I think it's Barbados. And that person died. And I said, God, my God, that could have been me. That could have been me that day because I was so desperate. I didn't look up information about this person. I didn't research. I didn't do anything. I was just desperate. But God in all that is happening, he's always there. And I knew he was there guiding me through. And I knew that there was more to Jem than I really could, imagine. Because, I was a teacher. I was given all to my students. This year, I've been teaching 18 years of my life. I've been teaching 18 years this year. And I had been giving. And, as women, we sacrifice. We sacrifice for our kids. We sacrifice for our husbands. We sacrifice for whatever profession that we do. But who takes care of us? And that was the point that I had to reach to in 2015. I said to myself, I've taken care of so many people. Who's taking care of me? Yes, my husband will pay the bills and he'll make sure we have the meals in the house. But who is taking care of me? And I really, really did a journey into my life, and I want to thank God that, He allows us to go through the struggle. So many of us don't understand, they watch people who are overweight and they say, well, why they don't diet? Why they don't go on exercise? I did it all. I did spin class, aerobics, running. I did it all. And it just wasn't working for me. I lived on salads. That was me. As big as I was salad morning, noon, and night, and it just wasn't doing enough. So it's not just a case of that. Sometimes some people are, just you look at them and you cast judgment. I want us to not be in that seat sometimes because you don't know how it is on the other shoe. And I remember at that point in time and I said, who is taking care of me? I told my husband, I'm not doing this for you. Because of course he would love me big, he would love me small, he would love me in between. He didn't really care, because he was dealing with heart. And I'm so grateful that I have a heart husband. But I had to be happy with me to give him the best of me. I couldn't give him the best of me because I wasn't happy with me. I didn't love me. How could you give the best? How could you pour into someone else when you have nothing to pour into them? And that's the place that I had to get to. I had to get to that point where I realized, listen, for me to be more than enough, for me to give more than I can give, I had to turn the tables around and fall in love with me. And it started first by being able, and I always tell people, I never wanted to be super slim. I just wanted to be comfortable in my skin. I want to be comfortable in my clothes, and that's where it started. And January of that year, I would have turned 35 years, January of that year. And I was still searching. I had not found TLC as yet. And I had done another program just before TLC, and I actually started to gain some weight. And, I began to just say, Lord, tell me what to do. And scrolling through Facebook, just like some of you may have come across Facebook ads with the TLC products. And I found the TLC ISO T product, and it said lose some pounds in a few days. So of course, lose some pounds in a few days, that went off into my head. So of course, I'm already looking to lose weight. I got excited, but I said, this one, I did my research. So many of them, I was so anxious to rush in. But this one, I slowed down. And it taught me a lesson that in life, we need to slow down at times. We need to really, really investigate what is happening with me. And that's what I did. And I looked and I researched and everything. And I was like, I think this is the one. And I want to say that I was blown away. I was blown away. I was blown away because in 6 weeks, I lost 20 pounds. I had been eating salads. I'd been eating healthy. I did not change my diet. I was eating healthy. So I wasn't the kind of person who was eating the flour and eating the sugar. And then I tried the tea and lost the weight. No, I was the health body trying to eat salads right through, not eating any flour. And if I was able to lose 20 pounds eating healthy and I was not losing it before, that was mind blowing for me because I was like, there is something different about these products. And, so many times we've been praying for something. Now, I've went on to lose maybe over 50, 60 pounds within 3 to 4 months of actually using these products consistently. That would have been in 2015, 2016. That's when I got my results. And 5 years later, I'm here before you. You could see I'm not that 300 pound, 260 plus pound. I have kept the weight off because this is just amazing products. But it wasn't only about the products. The products was great, and I was blown away because I had been taught growing up. You go to school, get a good education, you get a good job, you would get good money and that would pay all your bills. But that was a lie. That was a lie, because we have good jobs, but those jobs are not paying us good money enough to survive. So I was so grateful that when I said that yes to TLC, I didn't only say yes to the products, and I was blown away because I was in some credit card debt. I was the kind of person who I I wanted the best for my kids, so I had them in pay school. And if any of us know, pay schools are expensive. And I my husband and I, we just couldn't make ends meet every month, and we were just going into debt, going into debt, going into debt. And I must say that when I said yes to TLC, I never knew about online money. I wasn't taught it. If you're in the Caribbean, we are not taught about online money. We are not taught to be our own business people. We are not taught. We are taught to just go and get a job. That's what we are taught. We have not been that entrepreneur training or anything like that. So I didn't know anything. But what I knew was within 2 months of me saying yes. So I tried this product July, August of 2015. In about October, November, I went into that financial institution and I paid off my credit card debt in full. When I tell you full, I mean the tears came down on my eyes. I count out every single cent I owed that bank, and that would have been $5,000 plus in debt. So that was a lot of money. And when I gave the last one, she said, "That's enough." And I still had change in my hand. I came home, I screamed, I shouted, because, there's something powerful about being debt free. There's something powerful about owing no man. The Bible says that, owe no man. But when you have that feeling where you are able to pay off in full, get in your hand still to go home with, then you know that the God that supply your need supplied more than your need. And I just want to say that this opportunity has just really given me a total life change. Why I do this business and why I do what I do every day. It's not because I want the money. It's not because, I want the products or anything like that necessarily, but it's because of the change that I had in my life. I have to tell everybody, there is a way. There is something there for you. You've been praying, you've been looking, there is something. And that's what draws me, just to be in purpose, live in purpose. Because I am able now to say, listen, if it happened for me, it could happen for you. And that basically is really, really my TLC story. I really, really had a 360 I saw where I was able to emerge from who I was hiding from. I was hiding in that dark, gloom, depressive state. And so many of us, we are walking around and, we are not happy. We are smiling, but we are not happy. But when you find that true joy, when you are able to love yourself, and that's what I think makes a difference. Loving yourself in face of it all. And that's where I was able to come to a point where I love me. And because I love me, I can give the best of me. And I want to give the best of me every day. And I think, that's what so many of us have been searching for. We don't have to have the best house, the best car, the most money. But what we just want is to be so secure in our lives that we know we are fulfilling what we want to fulfill. And that basically is what is my drive, is my passion. Being able to allow other families to feel that liberation of, being debt free, of being healthy, and even more so in this 2020 pandemic. It is so amazing that we are ahead of the game because we are in a health and wellness opportunity, that we are able now to secure for our families. We are able to secure for everything that we've been looking for. So, Emile, that is basically Jem Tardieu in a nutshell. TLC has really transformed my life. not only my health, but my finances. I'm now able to travel. Before, when we could have traveled to Mexico multiple times, Disney with my family, I've been able to make so many trips, do staycation at the high class hotels and different things. And it's simply because of this opportunity. And I'm so glad that I said yes to myself, because that's what I said yes to. I didn't say, and I was so specific. I remember having this conversation with my husband. I said, I'm not doing this for you. I'm not losing weight for you. I'm not finding myself for you. I'm finding myself for me so that I can give the best of me. And that is what I did. So that is basically my story. That's my history. And I don't know what else, Emil, you may have to ask.
My God, my God. I could have sat here and listened until tomorrow. My God is absolutely awesome. Wow. Whew. Guys, I know you heard her say she was fat, she was overweight, she tried a lot of stuff. A lot of people hear this and they're thinking, hey, maybe she had done. I thought I was fat too. You know that kind of weight where they think that, where they would say, you remember you're going to high school and you thought you were fat then, but now you wish you could be that fat now? No, she wasn't talking about that fat. And guys, as you always know, if you have been following us, is that I don't just bring people on here, guys. I do my research, guys, and I get the receipts, I get the proof, I get everything needed to confirm whatever story is told. So I'm gonna ask you for a minute while I pull this up so I can show you what she meant when she said she was fat. Not the fact that you wish you were again, no. Oh my God. Jem, I must say your story is extremely inspirational. I don't know if love is the right word. If it's strong enough, I don't just love it. A minute ago, I felt like I was going to shed a few tears. I'm learning how to control my tears now, but Jem, it is absolutely awesome to know that where you are coming from, you you stuck to it, you did what you needed to do, um, and now you are an inspiration to many. I can tell you, somebody just inboxed me. They're watching your story live on Facebook right now, and they want to be a part of TLC just from hearing what TLC did for you. All right, let me get this up. So you are changing lives every step of the way. All right, guys, let me know if you're seeing my screen. Are you guys seeing my screen? Big and nice? All right. So, guys, this is Jem. This is Mrs. Tardieu, our regional director. She ain't making up no story, guys. Yes, regional director right there. Congratulations again, superstar. But what I really want to show you is this. She wasn't just saying she was fat, guys. She was big. All right, so Jem as is not just somebody who got fat and you're like, okay, you just slipped, it's easy for you. She knows it. And like she said, she had tried almost every single thing you can think of. One of them that she was going to try costs at least one person their life. Yes. And she met TLC, and TLC has changed her life, not just in the health and weight loss, but also financially, guys. I don't know if you understand. Somebody said try to make it bigger, it's too
Yeah,
small.
they weren't seeing it. It was just one thing of all the pictures. They didn't
Oh,
get
one
it.
thing of all
Yeah,
the pictures. All right, let me fix
yeah.
that. All right, let me see something. Let me try and see if, let me make sure. I've been having that issue of late. All right, let me try this again. All right. How are we now?
Right, we're now seeing it. So yes, now
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome, awesome. So you can see she didn't just get big overnight. And you know, even if a child is big, they will still be active and run up and look at her face. Look at her bright smile. Look at her beauty. Guys, she must have been active. There's no way this was a lazy child. No way at all. And she did not lose the weight. Guys, you need to understand not everybody is big or overweight because they are lazy or because they're craving. And I'm pretty sure Jem never used to eat a lot, right? And yet still she got fat. So you need to be understanding, you need to be more caring and kind towards people who are overweight. Are you seeing this big also, guys? Still big? Awesome, awesome. Now this is my receipt, my proof. Awesomeness. I'm so proud of you, Jem. I am absolutely. Many people in your position would have given up. I would have called it quits. You tried everything. I didn't even try anything. I just got fat because my knees got damaged, and I decided, hey, I couldn't bother. I couldn't bother until I couldn't tie my shoelace. I tried to tie my shoelace and almost blocked out. All right, guys. So at this time, I'll also allow you guys to ask your questions. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask Jem any question you like. Make sure it's appropriate, please, and thank you. This is a family show. All right, I'm not seeing any questions or any hands raised. All right, so there are no questions. All right, going once, going twice. In the meantime, while you're thinking about it, guys, I'm going to ask you if you're a guest and you're on air. If you are already a life changer, please ignore the poll that you're seeing now. If you're a guest and you're on air, go ahead and answer these two questions for me right now. Easy click, two clicks, boom, boom, bam, and you're done. I'll let that stay up there for a minute. Halfway there, guys. Only one guest on tonight. All right. 10 seconds to go. All right. Thank you so much for answering my poll. All right, guys. Thank you again, Jem. Your story, your results is now going to be even more inspirational. Now, when people ask us about your story, we can say we know so much. Now we can sell your story better as life changers. And before we go, would you mind telling me again what products you used to initially get those awesome results?
So I used the at that time we didn't have the instant. We didn't have the luxury of the instant then. So we I used the brew tea and the resolution drops. That would have been my first combo. And then when I did decide to join the business, which was a month later, I used the NutriBoost. So I used the tea, the drops, the NutriBoost.
Okay, so you started with the control kit. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it's called now. And then
Yes.
you went to the solutions kit.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesomeness, awesomeness. And like you said earlier, a lot of people have hormonal issues that stop them from losing weight, right? You'll be working hard, you'll be doing exercise just like everybody else, but you're packing it on. And there can be also things in your bloodstream that can stop you from losing weight also. So everybody has to be interviewed, ask the relevant questions, and then the best recommendation made. Not what worked for Jem is what must work for you. And no, guys, when you hear hormonal issues, Jem is using the right products. NutriBurst, Resolution Drops, and that awesome beauty. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us another night. Jem, your story is absolutely awesome. We need to get you back on another night and get 1,000 people hearing this story.
There's another question in the chat.
Oh, there's another question in the chat. Oh man.
Yes, from a visitor.
Okay, so somebody's asking, how did you get your skin to tighten after you lost
Um,
weight?
well, I have never gone to a gym or anything after using the products. I have not exercised. Of course, you can exercise, but I didn't have time. What I did is that I make sure that I eat my proteins. You know, your proteins really is what keep kind of helps keep you firm. And I remember using Chewy because that is a protein powder. So I would blend it in my shakes in between, and I used that. And I noticed that there was no sagging, there was no, my body was able. And the thing is, I always say, I think it's because these products are really, really good at what they do, that there isn't necessarily a set of sagging that results out of using the product. So that's what I did. I maintained my protein intake, and I did add the Chewy protein supplement to my smoothies to ensure that I have that protein so that my skin wouldn't sag.
Awesome stuff. Awesome. That's a very good question. I get asked that a lot. But for me, as I lose weight, my skin just come in. For me, it's kind of easy. Maybe because I eat a lot of meat.
Yeah, the protein helps.
Yes, somebody say yes, please get you back. All right, so awesome stuff. One life changer message us and said that your story is like hers. I think you guys should hook up because she has a program also. I know she'd love to have you on. All right, I'm gonna try and make that connection for you guys. But thank you so much. Your story is really inspiring. I know in most shows like these they say these things, but trust me, Jem, from the moment you started speaking to the end, it was just captivating. I have a few things I have to do while the program is going on. I have to share the link across different websites, and I almost didn't get to do it. I could not. I couldn't think about that. I had to hit myself to say, "Hey, remember, I mean, this is beautiful. I love it, and I am hoping I can get you back on another time. And I want to get 1 million people to hear your story." All right, guys, like you know, each week I announce who's coming on next week. And next week, you'll be hearing from another person with another awesome story, guys, which is known as an executive director, Jennifer Eld. Have you heard of Eld with Care? I know you've seen her. I know you've seen her results. You've probably posted it too. But do you know her story? Just like Jem, she grew up overweight, didn't have a lot of friends, but now she is awesome. She's a trailblazer, guys. She's a top retailer, a top distributor. She is a member, a continuous member of the 250 Club for 2 consecutive years, guys. 2 consecutive years. Guys, she is awesome. Follow my page. You see the post. You see the information, guys. You do not want to miss this. Every night we are bringing an awesome presenter to you to share their story to inspire you to create your story. I'm your boy Emil, just sharing the good old stories. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Have yourself a great night, guys. Love you all.